Board Game Geek gets a redesign, Bob Ross does Magic the Gathering, and the US election is blamed for Kickstarter failure. That's just some of the news stories in the video this month, as well as I induct 3 games into my Board Game Hall of Fame. I'm Rob from JestaThaRogue.com, and this is the JestaThaRogue Board Game Show, episode 4. Now, I just want to tell you that you are not special. If you want to be special and you want to be part of the 0.5% of you that actually watch these videos that are subscribers, then hit the subscribe button. Now, in a normal year, I will do my top 10 games of the year, but of course this has not been a normal year and I haven't played enough of the games to qualify. So here is a short list. Drink it in. When I've played these enough, I will do the video. Let me know which of these games you would play and which of these games you would warn me away from. And now, on with the show, but first, this.
Out of the way, you!
Now in this episode I'm going to induct 3 games into my Board Game Hall of Fame. These are games I first played 5 years ago and I still love, which is a lot for me because I am very, very fickle. So let's start now. Going into my Board Game Hall of Fame for 2021 is Coyote. And in this game, everyone is going to wear a headband and they're going to draw from a deck of cards. They're going to put it in the headband without looking at it. So everyone else can see it, but you can't. And then starting with the start player, players are going to pick a number and the next player around in clockwise order is either going to increase that number or call the person out. If they call the person out and the number that they picked is lower than the total of all the numbers visible around the table, then the person who calls them out will lose a life. If it's higher, the person who was called out will lose a life, lose 3 lives on your out, be the last player surviving to win. So as the number goes around the table, you're trying to figure out what your number is. If people are higher than you can see, then maybe it means you've got a high number, or if it's lower, then you think it could be maybe you've got a minus or something, because the numbers themselves do go from 20 down to -10, but also there are special cards such as these that make the highest number a 0, or even turn the highest number into a negative. So this is my favourite of these kind of games. I prefer it to games like Cockroach Poker, Perudo and Skull and Roses. That is Coyote. Now normally what I like to do in this segment is take a negative comment and rip it apart, but in October my mum was diagnosed with cancer and she passed away in November, and then the funeral and her birthday and Christmas are all very close together in December. So throughout November and December I didn't do any content, but I did receive loads of nice comments and each one of those really helped, so I'm just going to go through all those now. Karen Songs Official says, best video of this type yet, thanks for how to play Marvel Champions. Galaxy Gaming says, very nice about how to play Bunny Kingdom. Patron Uck says, great tutorial, speedy but clear, thanks for how to play Santa Maria. Troxis Meijin says, I'll use these to try and find the imposter in the game Among Us, thanks for the tips for top 10 tips for social deduction games. Clunchy Bota says, how are you so underrated for how to play Bad Bones Advanced Rules, and then says, like I said in your other vid for Bad Bones, you are so underrated for how to play Bad Bones Basic Rules. Nicholas Walton says, I am late to this, but thank you. The tutorial has made the most sense of all the ones I've watched and I really appreciate it for how to play Marvel Champions. Sam Kendrick says, thanks for making this video for how to play Warhammer Underworld's Shadespire. The Funky Cat says, thanks for saving me from reading the rules. Very helpful for how to play Marvel Champions. I just want to say thank you for all the nice comments that I've got over the last couple of months. It's really helped. Going into my Board Game Hall of Fame for 2021 is Power Grid. And all you're really doing is auctioning for power plants. You're then buying resources to fuel those power plants. You're then building generators which you'll power. Then you're powering generators to earn you money, which will allow you to then buy more power plants, resources and generators. And you go out until this last turn where you're trying to fuel as many generators as possible around a map. And whoever does the most in that last turn is the winner. And what I really like about this game is the turn order. So even though if you're in the lead, you're going to lead the way in auctioning for your power plants. So you get the first pick of those. You're going to be buying resources last, which means as more disappear, the price increases. So you're probably going to be paying more on your turn. You're also going to be the last building generators, and generators can be more expensive the more people are at a city. So there's a race to get to those cities first. And the way it all works is it just works really well. And I don't understand why I like it. I just really love playing it. That is Power Grid Deluxe. BGG had a redesign to the homepage, which of course was met by initial outrage, followed by nothing, same as when any large site has a redesign. Now I don't like it, it's less convenient, but life goes on. I'll be here to report next time they do a redesign and people don't like it. Essen Digital had 148,000 visitors during Essen Spiel Digital, which is a good number, although Gen Con did try to claim it was 148 people visiting 1,000 times each. Harry Potter Catch the Snitch Kickstarter was cancelled, with the US election being blamed for holding back their social media campaigns. The second campaign was a success because there was no election running at the time. Although they dropped their base pledge level by $15 and also dropped their overall funding goal by $404,000, so I'm pretty sure that also helped. Magic the Gathering's created land cards featuring the artwork of Bob Ross. When I saw this article, I thought it was a mistake. Turns out, it was just a happy little accident. Unmatched are adding Marvel to their lineup this summer with 4 sets featuring Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Elektra, Bullseye, Miss Marvel, Squirrel Girl, Cloak and Dagger, Black Widow, Black Panther and Winter Soldier. This is exciting, but this system now has a buying of well over £200 for a completionist like me. I look forward to playing them though. Fantasy Flight Games are shutting down their forums because you can find the information elsewhere. Not sure it's a good idea, but whatever. Fantasy Flight Games are still having their Asmo day. Development of Star Wars X-Wing, Star Wars Armada and Star Wars Legion are moving from Fantasy Flight Games to Asmodee's miniatures game-focused studio, Atomic Mass. Bye Fantasy Flight, you were good while you lasted. Storms, Brexit and coronavirus have caused port delays in the UK, meaning many containers are stuck and people are worried about their Kickstarters. I'm more worried about things like food and medicine, but that's just controversial old me. Ultima Factory is working with other publishers on bringing solo rules to games like Gaia Project, Terra Mystica and Hostage Negotiator. I cannot wait to play Hostage Negotiator solo. ISS Vanguard, the new space-themed game from Awakening Realms, is live on GameFound rather than Kickstarter. It's the first project to use this platform and it's made nearly $3 million. And it'll be interesting to see what GameFound can do with a publisher who doesn't have a loyal following like Awakened Realms. Finally, Dice Theme Park, the sequel of sorts to the OK Dice Hospital, is coming to Kickstarter in March. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't do much video content between November and December. I couldn't face being on camera and being all cheerful at the time. I did do an unboxing for ETH Fields. I didn't quite go to plan because the top-down camera looked into the game box didn't work. But I did one of the 5th player expansion and put some highlights from the main unboxing in that as well. But written, I did do a lot of writing. So in November, I looked back at Sentient, the kind of very pretty but algebra mathy game, which is weird set collection game. Sushi Go, the very fun drafting game. Munchkin, the game that people in the hobby don't like, but it brings so many people into the hobby, it needs its time. And on Board Game of the Arena, I played The Crew, the Quest for Planet 9, a very good cooperative trick-taking game. In November, I looked at Luxor, which again I played on Board Game Arena. It's a set collection game with a very unique hand management mechanism. Played Welcome to New Las Vegas, which is like Welcome to, but not as good. I played Anirim on the iPad. I did a review of that, the solo games. I looked back at Deception Murder in Hong Kong, the murder-solving social deduction game, and I took a look back at one of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion, Magic the Gathering. Going into my Board Game Hall of Fame for 2021 is Hero Realms. And this is a very quick to play deck builder where you are using different resources to buy cards, obviously, but also to heal yourself and to deal damage to your opponents. You can start with a generic deck, so everybody's got the same, or you can play as characters like a fighter or a rogue or a wizard, so that everybody's got a slightly different starting point. And one of the things I really do like about this, apart from it being very quick to play, which is something I really like for my deck builders, is that not only can you play solo against different scenarios or play solo against the campaign, you can play various forms of player versus player, you can play cooperatively against the game in different ways. Again, you can play cooperatively against the scenario or cooperatively against a big bad enemy. There's loads of different ways to play it and it is loads of fun. And it is, you don't have to get the box this big, it does come in a small box if you just get the base game. That is Hero Realms. And there we go, that is the end of the Jesta ThaRogue Board Game Show episode 4. Now I'm recording this on January 2nd, so it's time for me to put all my Christmas stuff, all my Christmas stuffies away as well. And I hope everyone has a good 2021. I also hope everyone had a good Christmas break. Be sure to subscribe because this month I'm doing a how to play video for a game. Doesn't necessarily need one. And I've done an unboxing of Kingdom Rush and all the expansions, and plus any other stuff as well that I get through Kickstarter. I'm going to do unboxing videos of those. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.